Well, it's Fed Day. Take a look at the disclosure. If you're new, you got to take a quick little glance here. If you're doing the open house, take a look, and let's get to the morning call. My name is Scott Redler. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. Welcome to today's morning call. So it's Fed Day. We've had a huge trend since mid-April, May that got tested a few different times where the market hasn't been able to be below the 21-day for more than 2 days. And then those trends can continue. Sometimes we've taken trades off. Sometimes, we've kept them on. Into a Fed day, that's always risky. There's always risk. It tends to be a little bit more risky because more people are actually looking at the market, and everyone's trying to figure out what they could do, how they could do it. So for us, we've been in a really good, portfolio approach. I probably have a little bit too many things on. The funny thing is, so this is the virtual trade floor right here, and there's a bunch of new guys on here that are trying it out, which is cool. IONQ looks good to me. Okay, that's that's interesting. Let's go real quickly to when IONQ, just as a technician, when it looked good. IONQ looked fantastic here. This is when IONQ looked fantastic. This is when it was awesome, when it took out 48.30. Then it hit 62.85. Now this is more looking extended, looking a little bit parabolic, and now looking like anything you should be buying if you don't own it yet. If you own it, congratulations, trim some. If you've been trying to short this thing, this is turning into a pain trade, so be careful, but this is leading the group. A lot of other good trades in this group going on, but we'll get that to a second. But anyway, so at this point, using day count rules, which is something I always teach, day one, little trim, and then boom, this is day 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is day 6. Day 6 is not a spot to buy. But anyway, I'm hoping it could continue to impulse other things in the group. So before I get to the normal crew, QUBT, I bought a little bit more yesterday to be social. This has been the biggest laggard there. QBTS has been all right though. QBTS, looks like it's on its way to 20. This one had a nice move. Let's see, what do I have there? I have a decent amount of that. And then RGTI has been, my kind of IONQ where it was down a little bit this morning. Now it's up because IONQ went green. Let's see if this thing, can get some legs. It's up now at 40 cents, which is nice, 2%. I just trimmed a little bit because it was lower, and then I'll see what the complexion is here. 21.42 is that pivot. But, so IONQ is the lead dog. Groups that have leaders, it's great when other stocks follow. It's always best to be in the leader, but, all in all, sometimes you need something to look at. But anyway, with that being said, let's go back. Okay, so the Qs. Qs have been trending. There is some talk that if the Fed is uber, I don't use Uber because people like to chart Uber. If they're very, very, very dovish, what could happen is, money goes to the pro-cyclicals, the small caps, and this and that, and then, this could see a move to 585, and that means tech will be vulnerable. So just know it's a little extended. This is 585. This is what I would write down. If the Qs get sold hard, that's worth a look. But anyway, in order for that to happen, it's got to get below and stay below 590.49. So in the SPYs, I want to just go over the SPYs because I'll do a little micro work there with you guys. Micro work. So I do have a little bit of a hedge on. I sold some premium for tomorrow. What just happened there? Okay, and I'll have some puts, figuring that if the street doesn't get what it wants, what would that be? That would be like 25 basis cuts and feels like it's one and done. Then I think that the SPYs break 659.21, and you could probably see a move down to 655. So I bought puts just in case that happens. They were cheap. They're like 95 cents. So with that being said, that is my hedge. I'm short a little premium above, and I have some puts on. But as you could see from the virtual trading floor, it's pretty extensive here. So anyway, with that being said, that's my hedge. I sold some 665s, and I have some 655s, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I lose on both of them, so this way I'm making a lot of money in all my longs that I could manage. But anyway, IWM, if they're super dovish, chances are this is going to move really fast, and maybe it takes out 240.93 to see 244.98. I have to say yesterday was a good day for the XLE. Some money rotated there. It does seem like this could be a better group over the next month. Some guys bought calls in the XLE. I actually bought calls in Oxy, which had a really nice move. Probably bigger than It should have. I haven't seen a move in Oxy like that in a long time. So anyway, I'm gonna try and stick with that. I bought some. It did really well. I did sell some just in case, and now I'll see how it digests. Chances are, it looks like it could see, you know, 52 or something like that. Let me save that. I didn't even put that, and that was one of my bigger winners yesterday. That's how many things we had going on yesterday. It was a great day. After a great day, you just want to make sure you have a good day. But anyway, that's Oxy. So let's go back. Let's go through Mega Cap. So some guys are like, Red Dog, Tesla's over. Okay, no one's like that. You guys are trained. You guys know what to do here. So bottom line is Tesla had a fantastic move. That's where I think most of my community made a lot of money. Buying this day, getting your follow through, trimming into there, and now it's a little bit in digestive mode. So let's just look here in digestive mode. Let's do a little micro work here. So this is 425.70. This is 411.43. This is the gap of 402. This is the gap that gets filled. These are your levels. So, if we hold 411 and go sideways and go green, chances are we're going to be taking out 425 faster than some people would think. If we break 411, then they could stop some people out. Then people have too much size, get a little worried, and then maybe you see a move towards 402, and then you have to worry about here. So the question is, how much speed and digestion do we need? Do we need more digestion, or is there speed? So again, right now Tesla's only down 360. It's not a big deal. We'll see what the morning low is. Maybe adverse on morning low to try and go green. And if things get a little wishy-washy, no, it's never over, Amber. Then if it breaks 411, you got to wait and see. There was a level right around 406 because I bought that the other day. So that's Tesla. Amazon's rebuilding really well. It's one of my bigger positions, but I did take off a lot of options. I bought the 240s into this move, so into that move I sold over half. I'm in the stock. I'd love to see it hold 232, go sideways, and give us a whole new trade. What's Amazon doing right now? Amazon is down a whole 60 cents. Not a big deal. Google's just at this point, it's a little extended. It's not really a new buy. It's not really a short. Yesterday, we made a little bit of pocket change, shorting it up $1 to go down $1 somewhere in there. It was just good to see a day trade like that for some guys that like to day trade. Some people are like, Red Dog, you have too many positions for me to follow. Well, then go through the 40 different things that I have here in the alert. So just so you know, if you're new and if you're testing, the Alpha team, if you go up here, there's 40 charts in here with language and pivots and thoughts. You can go through them and make those thoughts your own and figure that sugar honey iced tea out. You're not just here to match what I do, buy and sell, etc., etc. No, you're here to figure out why the chart patterns are interesting, why they're on the A list, why they went down to the B or C list, why they're moving up the list, etc., etc. So that's what guys on the Alpha team who've been here for years have done. A lot of them trade different names that I'm not in. Some of them are in the only ones that I'm in. It's all different for everybody. Anyway, Google is like a no trade. If you're managing the position, congratulations. Meta was a good focus. Again, I've been giving you guys a framework for this name for over a week. I'm not in it because I have a gazillion other things going on. And all week I've been saying you could be long versus 743. So this way you're not worried about the back and forth at 766. Or you could add through 766 and hit 781. That's a nice 3-day trade for some of you. What's Meta doing this morning? It's down a little bit. So maybe there's a trade to go right to green. It's only down $1.50, not a big deal. But it could go down a little bit more, so just know where things are. If you bought Netflix with a Red Dog reversal, you're getting paid today. What do I mean? Well, there was it went into a little bit of a pullback because of the news that there might be more consolidation in the streaming business. So if you sold 1232, you guys know what a Red Dog reversal is. From 1232 down to 1182, what's that, 50 points? Went below it, came back above it. So if you were trading Netflix, you could use the Red Dog reversal right here to make cash flow and hold some. And if you did hold some, here's your Netflix. So as your chief strategic officer that's not in Netflix, you can make money being in Netflix without me. More than enough people made money with me in Tesla and in 15 other things, but I can't be in 100 things. I'm not a friggin', big mutual fund. But you could take what I put out there and make it your own if you agree. So Netflix, what a nice surprise for some of you who bought the Red Dog reversal. And so I'll give it to 1173 because that's the strategy. It could be a day trade or it could be a new swing trade. Anyway, that's Netflix. All right, so let's move forward. Nvidia is only down, to be honest. I think it's pretty impressive. It's only down $1.50. So to me, that's pretty impressive considering China says they're not going to buy their chips anymore. So I think the smart money knows this is negotiation, and who knows, maybe it's not true. So I did sell my NVIDIA yesterday. I'll see if it's buyable today. I have options that I'm keeping just in case for that news, but I got out of it yesterday because it just didn't feel right. So anyway, it's at 173.30. See what if it makes a low in the morning and comes back up. But then you have to see his other names. Do they care? ARM looks really good. ARM looks like you could be long verse. 150. You could move it up now. You could be long verse 140. This is 149. That's where I got it from. So that's your out. If you're trading for it versus a level, if you think this is a bull flag going to go higher, that's your thought. And then if it goes through 159, that's your add. So that's the parameters of this trade. CRWV, some of you guys want that. That stock rebuilt pretty damn fast. Went as high as 125. Let's see if it could hold 115 and go sideways and continue to digest. That would be pretty healthy. I just looked at them for you, Pratica. Anyway, moving forward, Dash has been awesome. I've been long Dash pretty much since around here. It's been trending higher. A lot of guys have changed their life with this stock. There are stocks that can change your life. And Dash on the weekly, we've been all over this. It's moved to my A list right around 144. You could have been massaging this trade this entire time, depending on how you do it. And now it looks like it's on its way to probably 300 this year. Because of that, we focused on grab. Nice little move above 540, above 570, on its way to 740. Some people said it was downgraded today. That's fine. Look how many days it was up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You should have been smaller. I sold half. Now let's see if you could build above 590, 570. Maybe we'll buy some of that back. That's why we use a tier system. Anywho, a lot of the Chinese names are going a little nutty, which is great. Some of you are still in BABA. If you are, you're a better man than me or person. Make sure to trim some. Here's your out. Baidu, if you're in Baidu, congratulations. I sold mine yesterday. I was like, wow, this is a great move. I was all impressed with myself, and now it's up another 10. It's a little extended. Trim some if you're long some. A lot of my friends are in it. But trim it. You look at the weekly chart and you'll see that there's more room here still too. So just because you sold it, I say this all the time, just because you sold it a little bit early, there are guys, yes, say, I sold Baidu, I'm going to short it now. I'm like, why are you shorting Baidu just because you sold it? I have something, I need something to do. Well, that's not the smartest thing to do. Anyway, with that being said, 124.79, it's in the 130s. Trim some and manage it. I am pretty big in JD. JD looks like it's on its way to 39.88, maybe a little bit below that. So 200 down the weekly. The daily proved it can get above 34.40. So there's a void here. I have stock. I have options. I'll trim some. Yesterday, PDD is a new trade. I put on, I think, the 133 calls. Was a new trade. Some of the new people took it with me. So if you took it with me, here it is. Some people want a new trade. It's like, Red Dog, I can't just get in the trade because you're in the trade and might have had this for months. Well, yesterday I bought, where is it? The PDD 135s. NBIS is up. Okay, so I also yesterday I didn't have these on. I bought NBIS calls just in case I missed the trade of it, which is right here, the hundreds for 926. We'll see how much this goes. Okay, that'd be nice if that's a big move. I can't be buying it now. I'm doing the morning call. Red Dog wears a bunch of hats. But anyway, let's move this back here. Some people are like, why did I buy NBIS calls yesterday? Because I, didn't want to be involved. It takes a lot of brain power being in this name. Some are like, no, it doesn't. All you have to do is be long versus 86, 88 and hold it. Okay, you can do that. And that's why I'm being an option. So this way, if it goes when I'm not looking, I'll have some exposure. Looks pretty good. This group looks really good. IREN looks really good. A little extended. Now we'll see, does it hold 35.76 or shake the tree a little bit lower? I'll get back to JD. So that's IREN. Wolf is a big position of mine. I think once Bitcoin gets going a little bit, this is going to take out 1123, and I think it can go to 14 in the next month. When Bitcoin has its move, this is going to be 14 bucks plus, in my humble opinion. But anyway, I'm buying it. I'm adding to it. I'm trading it. It's doing well. Pony also has been doing well. That's more of like the Chinese AI. We started buying this. I lost money here. I remember that. Everyone got mad at me. Okay. And now I started to get back involved here and made a lot more than I lost either here or there, wherever that was. So bottom line is I think this gets back to this area at some point. So keep that on, your A list. What time frame do you use for the call? You could read. Look, so Thomas is asking me what calls do I have. So if you look at the virtual trade floor, you go PDD 926. Today's 917. So I didn't do it for this Friday. I did it for next Friday because I'm expecting the Chinese trade to continue, but it's a little overheated, so I'll probably trim a little bit and I'll hold a little bit. Anyone buying puts in case we have a correction? Ilson, look over here. Yesterday, just in case, I bought some 655 puts and I sold some calls because I have a bunch of things going on. Anyhow, let's keep moving on. Okay, that's Pony. So what else we got going on here? I went over quantum. Someone asked me JD. Let me go back to that real quickly for a second. What's this high here? This is 38. Like, why can't this get to 38? I might not do it in a day. It's not having really juicy moves, to be honest. It's kind of slow and sluggish, but it's giving us a lot of time to buy the $33 calls here. And then into this move, I sold most of the 33s, and then while we were hanging here, I started buying the 35s, and I'm in the name. So whenever everyone sees me in the name and the options, they know it's kind of something that you probably should focus on. So JD's been nice. It's up 68 cents. Trimmed some yesterday. We bought it while it was red and came back up. So awesome. Thanks, FP3. FP3? Nice. You know CP3? He's a famous lacrosse guy. Rob Pinell, a good friend of mine. Have I looked at FIGR? I'll look at that for a second here. I haven't. Nice little move. Not really, not really on my radar, but cool. I guess if you're in it, see if it holds this little spot here. There's a lot going on, guys. A lot going on. ASTS has been something that's been on the radar. I did buy some calls into this lower area. I tried to rally yesterday, but for some reason Rocket Labs held it back. So maybe today's a better day there. Ethereum, I'm trying to accumulate it also into this 3644 area. Usually September's not a great month for crypto, so just keep that in mind, but it's hanging here pretty well. I'm also in IBIT, but I've been in it for a while. I added to it, below here. I trimmed some, so now as long as it hangs in here, it looks like there's another move going. With that, some of you guys are in Salt. You could be long Salt now versus 29. I was talking about buying it in here. Nice move. I am in some Mr. options. I bought them wrong, but it looks better. I think I bought them on this day or this day. I don't remember exactly which day, but if Bitcoin wants to get going, Mr. is kind of tight here. So again, there's lots of things going on. Lots of things. So make sure you know what you can handle. Make sure that today is one of those days where they could really mess with you, shake the tree a little bit. So you got to be careful that you're not too extended in case there is a surprise, which would be like a quarter and then, done. Like a hawkish cut would be something the street doesn't like. A dovish cut would probably be something better, but we'll see. At this point, though, it's 8:40. I got to get going. Futures SPYs are only down 18 cents. Things are on the move. Make sure to manage your size. And there's a lot of parts of a day during Fed day. You have like your morning, you have your pre-Fed, then you have when he puts out the statements, and then you have a half an hour, and then when he's in the press conference, it could be different, and then it's different again when he's done speaking, and then it's different again the last half hour, and then sometimes the day after is different. So take your trades, know what you're committed to, and keep moving those feet with lots of preparation. I'll see you guys a little bit later.